lot, Larry. And thank you, Arturo. Congratulations, incidentally, to Arturo's sister on her wedding today. I'm sure JB feels the same way.
No doubt about it, Jim. And I'm also pleased to hear that Gaddy wants to move up in quality of opponents indeed. All right, folks, here in New York City, the big event coming up later tonight. Of course, the championship match between Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant, the two tallest and heaviest guys combined ever to fight for a heavyweight championship. To take a look at Lennox Lewis, just arriving a few seconds ago, looking absolutely calm and confident indeed. He says he wanted to fight the best young guy out there, and Michael Grant indeed is that guy. Well, with this upcoming championship bout, I think it's only appropriate to let's take a look, a snapshot look at who these two big men are and the routes they took to tonight's championship fight. Tonight, two huge men will soon do battle for the heavyweight championship of the world. Lennox Lewis, the established champion, faces the up-and-coming challenger, Michael Grant. For Lewis, he's at the pinnacle of his career.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
With his second straight dominant performance against Evander Holyfield, Lewis, for the first time in his career, enjoys public support as the top heavyweight in the world. Since then, as is all too often the case in boxing, politics intervened.
2020 Sports.
Lennox Lewis was stripped of his WBA title. Lewis scheduled to fight Michael Grant at the Garden.
All because Lewis is facing the dangerous Michael Grant instead of the WBA mandatory challenger John Ruiz, best known for being demolished in all of 19 seconds at the hands of David Tua, currently ranked number 6 in the same division.
As far as what the WBA and Don King's trying to do to me, it's just politics, and they can't beat me in the ring, so they're trying to beat me outside the ring. Anything to try and get the belts from me, but still, I stay positive every time, and the whole world knows I'm undisputed.
But why fight the tougher Michael Grant? A gifted fighter who is younger and bigger than Lewis, whom some consider to be the heir apparent in the heavyweight division.
I think one thing was he had going for him. He wasn't a Don King boxer, and I felt that, you know, he has to eat some food as well.
I don't think he thinks much of Grant today, and I think that's exactly why he's fighting him. Fight him now before he improves, because Michael Grant is definitely a work in progress.
He's just what we call hurry come up. That means he came up in a hurry. That means he's going to go in a split second.
However, with all of Lewis's legal distractions and possibly overconfidence creeping in, is there an opportunity for Grant to upset the two-time champ?
I think his inexperience in big fights is a big factor because Michael Grant hasn't been in against a boxer like me. He hasn't been through what I've been through. You know, he's been swimming in the shallow end, and I'm going to take him into the deep end and drown him.
And nothing has ever been as right.
Michael Grant is a little bit different. For one thing, he sings in a church choir as well as in the locker room before every fight.
I like singing. It's pretty much, to me, it is definitely a feel-good sensation. You know what I mean? I like to sing, especially when you're on key.
The colossal Grant, a one-time four-sport potential superstar, now finds himself facing boxing's biggest challenge. Although he got off to a late start, Grant's size and athleticism have generated enormous buzz as the next great heavyweight.
I'm pretty much the most gifted heavyweight out there right now, because the ability, the talent, the want, the will is already there. Now we just got to go and get it.
I've seen every great and near great heavyweight of my time. I haven't seen any with the potential to be as good as Michael. He has everything it takes for greatness.
Undefeated, Grant has amassed 22 knockouts in 31 professional fights against the current class of top heavyweight contenders, quickly gaining support and much-needed experience.
And Grant beat him to the punch.
However, it may have been Grant's recent war with Andrew Galata, although he had his shaky moments, that best prepared him to be able to make this next step.
No matter how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up and you want to continue and finish.
Michael Grant has made a big case for himself tonight in adversity.
If Grant had blown out Galata, I would give Grant no chance in this fight at all. None. because he had to go through that. And by it happening then and him surviving it, he's gotten a chance now to have found out something about himself, to have improved, not just technically, but emotionally.
Since the Galata fight, he believes that he can beat Lewis. The will to win is a great weapon. And Lewis haven't shown that in his whole career. Michael has shown it.
So tonight, Michael Grant finds himself in a big-time title fight against a seasoned champion. Can Grant maximize his potential to upset the substantially more experienced Lennox Lewis? When two men this big collide, anything can happen. All right, back here, of course, Lennox Lewis wants to defend his title successfully. He's talked about the need, from his standpoint, to look impressive in his title defense. Well, certainly no one knows Lennox Lewis any better than the three-time heavyweight champion and the man who was the most influential fighter in the 90s, Evander Holyfield. Evander, thanks a lot for joining us here.
Thank you.
You know, we talked about nobody knows Lennox Lewis any better. You fought him now 24 rounds. Size up what your guy, Michael Grant, will have to do. And I say your guy because you guys are the best of friends. You were in his wedding. What will he have to do to knock out Lennox Lewis?
Well, Mike will have to be very aggressive. He cannot wait on Lennox. Lennox fight in a very slow pace, and he really don't handle pressure well. So Mike has to fight very aggressive.
You talk about Lennox fighting at a very slow pace. Admittedly, it's a very awkward style. What makes him so difficult? You looked much better the second time you fought Lennox Lewis than the first. What makes him so difficult, so awkward?
Well, for one thing, you know, styles make fight. You know, his height make a big difference, but it should make a big difference with Michael Grant, because Mike is taller and got longer arms. So by Mike being aggressive, he can get to him. You know, by still me being aggressive, he still had the longer reach, and he can still take a step back and still harm me with his jab. But you know what, Mike, if Mike fight very aggressive and throw a lot of punches, then he can't block them punches from Mike.
No one has had any bigger heart in fighting than Evander Holyfield, but play the what-if game with me. If you were 6'7", 250 pounds like your guy, Michael Grant, how would you then fight Lennox Lewis?
Well, the big difference is the experience that I have. I've been fighting for 30 years. So, you know, that plays a big part on Lennox's part because he do have a lot of experience. So if you wait on a guy who have more experience, then he's going to outthink you. You know, and what Michael Grant have is youth on his side. He's 27. If he's strong, he's a lot stronger and should have more energy. So his chance of winning, he would have to fight very aggressively.
Now, you know, this might just make for good debating, Evander, but Lennox Lewis said that it would be a major mistake for Michael Grant to crowd him and to rush him early, as you may be suggesting. Lennox said he learned from that mistake in the Oliver McCall fight and wouldn't make that mistake again. Would Michael be making a mistake by rushing him and crowding him?
No, he wouldn't. It's only ironic for Lennox to say that because he wouldn't want Mike to do that. Because Mike may be the only guy that he ever fought with longer arms and can get to him. He cannot lean backwards and get away from a shot from Mike because Mike's arms is longer. So he wouldn't want that because he don't fight good inside anyway. And Lennox starts off slow, so he wanted to warm up. Yeah, Lennox is more of a front runner. When things are going his way, he get better and better. But if you put the pressure on him right from the start, then he don't deal with pressures as well.
In no way attempting to diminish the effectiveness that Michael Grant has shown to this point, and the fact that he is a multi-sport star from other sports being converted to a boxer. But let me ask you, is he a legitimate boxer with a legitimate chance tonight against Lennox Lewis?
The only thing you can say, you know, Mike hadn't been tested by fighting a guy with as much experience as Lennox Lewis. And now it's a test time. He either get an A or F. You know, boxing's one of them sports where that now it's put up, shut up. Now it's time for him to go out and prove to people who he is as a person. By, you know, throwing a lot of punches, and he gonna get hit. The point is that can you take it and can you give it?
For all practical purposes, Evander Holyfield has seen Michael Grant from the time he laced up his gloves. He trained with you in your gym. He's trained with you in Houston. Again, I mentioned you were in his wedding. You know him emotionally very well. You're an experienced champion. You're accustomed to the big fight event. Emotionally, can Michael Grant cope with what he's going to be dealing with tonight a big fight, a championship fight?
Well, all fighters have, because every fighter that has been a great champion had to go through it. They had to do it for the first time. This just so happened to be his first day, and it will show you how he dealt with the pressure. Right now, his biggest challenge of himself. You know, everybody have the day that they have to go out there and do it. Everybody dream for the day of being a heavyweight champ of the world. Then when that day comes, it's how do you answer, how do you react under pressure. Now this is his day. My all great champion had this same day, so it's nothing uncommon. Do I believe he can do it? I believe he can. I did it.
And who's to doubt you, Evander Holyfield? Thank you so very much. I think we'll be hearing more from you. Well, I tell you, between Kevin Kelly and Evander Holyfield, awfully effective up here as you guys have been in the ring. All right, folks, coming up in just a few moments, there will be a featherweight championship between Paul Ingle and Junior Jones. As you take a look at Junior Jones, the New York City kid who is hoping to bounce back strongly and take it back to a championship level. He's excited because he has the renowned Teddy Atlas in his corner now. Junior Jones says the passion is back in the fight game for him, and his love is there. All right, for more on this upcoming bout and others, let's take you back downstairs to Jim Lampley.
All right, thank you very much, JB. And incidentally, stay with us and pay attention tonight. This is not going to be one of those long, drawn-out pay-per-view affairs where the main event doesn't come around until somewhere closer to midnight. Things are moving rapidly here tonight. We expect to have the main event going sometime between 11:15 and 11:30, and I'm sure you're all happy to hear that, especially here on the East Coast. George Foreman, let's talk for a moment about one of the vast disparities in the matchup between Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant, and that's experience. We've got a graphic which points up the numerical differences between Lewis and Grant in terms of experience. Lewis with his 105 amateur fights, his 2 appearances in the Olympics, gold medal in 1988. Grant had at best a brief amateur career. Of course, Lewis's pro fights, 37 of them, drawn out over a 12-year period, 11-year period now. We leave open the caliber of the opposition, but Lewis has probably fought a bigger named list of opponents. The way I like to say this is Lennox Lewis had his first fight of this magnitude October 31, Halloween night, 1992. That was before Michael Grant ever laced on a pair of boxing gloves. But you tell me, is all that important, or is it just a bunch of numbers for people to look at?
It's very important, but you can make it all worth nothing by getting in one good right hand early in the fight. You can change all of that, but unless you do as much, it's very important, and it's bad to be on the opposite end of it.
Knowing Grant the way you do you expect him to be overwhelmed, bothered by the crowd in Madison Square Garden, the atmosphere of a heavyweight title fight, or is he ready for all that?
Well, he's into himself, so he's not going to be bothered by this atmosphere, I can tell you that. It will bother him about being conservative. You're a big man like that. You don't want to throw all your energy away in the first and second round. That may cost him a lot more than just being afraid of the crowd and being shook up.
Those of us who have had the privilege of observing Michael Grant in his developing career, I think are a little surprised at how routinely he's dismissed by some general sports fans. A lot of people suggesting this week that this ought to be an easy win for Lennox Lewis. Larry, like David Letterman, who casually suggested to Lewis that he was fighting a tomato can and ought to knock him out in about 3 rounds. Why is the public so devoid of understanding of Grant's impact already in the heavyweight division?
I don't know. I just assume it's because he hasn't had as much exposure as some other fighters, and I think that people are still wired into the narratives of the familiar fighters of the 90s. Tyson, then Bo, who is now retired, Holyfield, who is still with us, and Lewis, and they just haven't had the time to recognize some of the good young heavyweights coming up. I think that it's fair to suggest that just as in the lower weight divisions, that the time of youth is about to come. We don't know if it's in a person of Michael Grant, but it's going to happen. Lennox Lewis himself has said some interesting things. He first said, you know, I'm not really ready or interested in fighting these young guys if I don't have to. I'd rather fight the guys of my generation. So we asked him why. He says, well, I know they're coming after me, and that's the challenge, but one of these days, they're going to get me. Well, this may be the day.
All right, and I know that you don't think that there's a chance that Grant is so callow and so still forming in terms of experience that he'll be overwhelmed by this event.
He's 27 years old, not going to get a whole lot better. He's had 31 professional fights, including against some really tough customers who may not be big names, but are avoided by many heavyweights, and he has dealt with them better than anybody else who's faced those guys like David Izon and
Obed Sullivan and
right.
Andrew Galata, as it turned out,
and Cole, etc. I like youth, I like ambition, I like hunger. We've seen in the lower divisions, as I've said, that's what counts along with talent. I think experience can be overrated.
All right. That'll be the heavyweight championship fight coming up later tonight. Right now, let's turn our attention to a lower weight class, 126 pounds, and a world championship fight, at least for one of the governing bodies, or so-called governing bodies in this weight class, because Yorkshireman Paul Ingle, a man you saw last April in a spirited challenge against Prince Nassim Hamed in Manchester, England, is getting ready to fight a man who's been waiting a while for his shot at Prince Nassim and has twice blown opportunities to get in position for it, Junior Jones. And there's the tail of the tape. You can see that Jones has a 3-inch height advantage. You can see that he has a 1.5-inch reach advantage. They both weighed in under the 126-pound limit. Paul Ingle accepted the suggestion of the New York State Athletic Commission that he not step on an unofficial scale for us, so we don't know what he weighs tonight. Junior Jones went ahead and decided that you should know he weighs 131. Punch that numbers, Larry.
Comparative numbers, Jones a little bit more active. These numbers don't mean a whole lot. The next set of numbers, the jabs, may mean something more because Junior Jones throws a lot of jabs, hasn't been landing many. He has to start landing them, and that will show that he is into the fight. If he doesn't, Ingle, who is a very rough guy, can overwhelm him.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, the Paul Ingle Jr. Jones fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. There is no standing gate count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right. Hometown fight for Junior Jones, who, going back through his amateur career and through the course of his professional career, has almost certainly fought more or as many fights in Madison Square Garden than any other contemporary fighter. 4 losses in his career, 2 of them relatively early, when he himself came a cropper against John Michael Johnson and Darrell Pinckney, and he says he wasn't properly conditioned, hadn't made the right kind of commitment at that time. Then later, he slugged it out with Kennedy McKinney on the undercard of Kelly Nassim here in New York and got knocked out in the 4th round, and then was knocked out again in the 4th round by Eric Morales in a bull ring in Tijuana, Mexico. He's got another chance to make it back to the pinnacle and fight Prince Nassim if he can get past this fight tonight. 47 wins against those 4 losses, 27 KOs for one of the most skilled fighters of the last several years. We've been watching Junior a long time. He was a gifted prospect whose career has left him with lingering frustrations. Of course, he had the 2 great victories over Marco Antonio Barrera at a time when Barrera was regarded as one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. But he's still missing the brass ring, which would be signified by a victory over Prince Nassim.
I think a fight with Prince Nassim would be his brass ring now or his gold ring because of the money that's entailed. And that's what is at stake for him tonight.
And Junior Jones scored a dramatic 11th round rescue knockout of Richard Evatt a year ago in Manchester, England, on the undercard of Prince Nassim against Paul Ingle. In the early rounds of the fight, Evatt totally dominated Junior. Junior looked like he had nothing, but then in the 11th round produced that dramatic thunderbolt left hook to knock Evatt out and rescue at that moment his career. That was the key moment in catapulting him to here, along with a decision win over Tracy Harris Patterson earlier this year. And here comes Ingle for his first fight in the United States.
Comes from a town not too far from Sheffield, where Prince Ahmed lives. Scarborough, of Scarborough Fair fame. And if you're wondering why he's wearing this camouflage outfit, it's because he's called the Yorkshire Hunter. He often goes out onto the moors to train.
I'll get it in. Paul Ingle, when told that the weigh-in would be shifted to the day of the fight, threatened to go home and ditch this first appearance in Madison Square Garden in the USA. Not, he said, because he thought it was any great disadvantage to him to weigh in on the day of the fight, but because he did not like the schedule disruption of being told one thing and then asked to do another. Eventually, he was persuaded to stick around and fight this fight tonight. And just as what's at stake for Jones is a shot at Prince Nassim, so too Ingle looks for a rematch with Prince Nassim if he can win this fight tonight. His record, 22 wins, the one loss to Naz, also on an 11th round knockout, and he has 15 KOs of his own. Since losing to Prince Nassim, he decisioned Manuel Medina in a fight in which he fought to survive in the 12th round with a badly bloodied eye to take the decision and win the title belt that he carries into the ring. And now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer to set it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, New York City, Panics USA, main events, and your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present the co-feature of the evening, sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, along with the IBF and the IBO. The three judges scoring this bout on the 10-point bus system will be Don Ackerman, Joe Dwyer, and Don O'Neill. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Steve Smoger. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF IBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trimmed with white and weighing in at 125 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 47 victories, 27 by knockout with 4 losses, and during his career he has captured 5 world title bouts. Ladies and gentlemen, from Brooklyn, New York, he's the challenger tonight. Here is Poison Junior Jones. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing camouflage trimmed with gold and weighing in at 125 1/2 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding 22 victories, including 15 KOs, with only 1 loss. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the pride of Scarborough, England, and the reigning and defending IBF IBO Featherweight Champion of the World, Paul the Hunter Ingle.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions at the weigh-in. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Respect the bell at all times, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. God bless. All right.
So
Donnie.
So Paul Ingle is the second British featherweight to come into New York and challenge one of New York's finest, Prince Ahmed, taking on Kevin Kelly. Ingle taking on Junior Jones.
Junior Jones now trained by the illustrious Teddy Atlas. Atlas, the man who once schooled Mike Tyson in the gym, later trained Michael Moore to the heavyweight championship of the world, and noteworthy for some of the most memorable corner speeches in the history of the sport. And Junior said, you know, I probably should have been with Teddy a long time ago, but I was reluctant to work with somebody that I knew would be so tough on me. He's been just as tough on me as I thought he'd be, and that's been good.
Junior Jones, he's got a lot of skills.
He does.
If only he could just stay out of fights. Now, this is going to be a test for him tonight to make certain that he can get hit, make sure he lands punches, hit as hard as he can, and stay out of harm's way. Stay off the canvas for the first 3 rounds, and he's got it made. Ingle, he's a long way from home. You got to win every round.
And Paul Ingle is a guy who may not look like a fighter, but who loves to fight. And the more give and take there is in the bout, the more they trade, the better Paul Ingle likes it.
Ingle should make certain he doesn't pace himself. Don't save anything for the 12th round.
Ingle took a while to get into it against Prince Nassim Hamed. He was outgunned early by Hamed's speed and power, but then in the middle rounds he came on, and a tiring Hamed had trouble holding him off before knocking him out with a thunderbolt in the 11th round. Junior Jones gets to the body early, has had trouble solving Paul Ingle's constantly moving head. If I'm Junior, I'm thinking I want to go to the body and try to slow some of that upper body movement down.
Yeah, it's like trying to hit a knuckleball. He has such constant head movement.
Ingle is going to the body. A good right-hand body shot. Junior Jones is one of those fighters that it seems he's got to get hit, he's got to get hurt before he can really get into a boxing match.
Junior Jones is at his best when he gets his jab working and boxes behind his very effective jab. And it's hard to get the jab going against somebody with the kind of head movement that Paul Ingle brings.
It's really dynamic because not only is he moving his head, he's moving his feet power.
But it's also hard to punch when you're moving your head like that.
No,
so
he's not going to land good shots. You're right.
You got to catch him in between.
All right, between rounds, we are going to take you to Michael Grant's dressing room for a live interview with the challenger as our Nick Charles stands by. Take it, Nick.
And we're with Michael Grant. Michael lacing on his boots. Just woke up from a nap. Unusual to do that before a fight?
Always did it before a fight.
How are you having to every fighter who fights for a title the first time is entering the great unknown. How are you having to battle, if at all, in your mind and make this just another fight?
It's not battling with it at all. It's just this is the fight. You know, this is the fight that everybody get up for. Everybody come out to see. And I'm more motivated just with that alone than anything.
How do you plan to take away Lennox Lewis's heart and his title?
Just consistency, my belief, my faith, and just my heart and will alone.
Not much margin for error. This guy could fight.
We both will be entering a world the margin of errors are very small. So I look to be at my very, very best.
You have to take a shot. You think you got to really just go for it and maybe take some risks?
Absolutely. You got to gamble in this. No question about that.
Well, the ring could be a dark, lonely place, or it could be a place to shine. Michael Grant's made it pretty clear what stage he expects to be on. Back to you, Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Nick Charles. Grant says that he'll take some chances, but also says that he thinks he can win with his consistency. That suggests to me that he's looking for a long fight and to get his jab going and try to beat Lewis that way. Round 2 in Junior Jones versus Paul Ingle underway. And by CompuBox numbers in round 1, Jones had difficulty being accurate, 19 out of 67, only 9 of 49 jabs. Now, Paul Ingle lands a long right hand, the biggest blow of the early fight.
And I think it's real good that Paul Ingle is keeping his hands up. He's a solid fighter. He doesn't reach out and throw wild shots. It's hard to really catch him with a counter shot. So Junior Jones is having some big problems thinking about how he's going to land a good jab and effectively come with a right hand behind it.
And another right hand lands for Ingle as he seems to be finding something here in round 2 with right hand leads.
Yeah, he reaches in for the little shots, the things that'll be accurate, not so powerful. He's taking the little things. The old saying is the small foxes that get the sweet grapes.
Jones's punch output seeming to drop just a little bit. Ingle kind of hard to find in there.
Jones's mouth is open already, George. Any significance, you think?
Yeah, he fights like that. He has a tendency to just come apart the first couple of rounds. But if he can keep himself stable, 3 or 4 rounds, he gets a little better. He starts reaching, he breathes out hard with his punches. Ingle is so dynamic, moving his upper body back and forward. You just can't get a good shot on him. It really will bewilder you.
If you think you're in pretty good shape and you want to know what true exhaustion is, just stand in front of a mirror and try to do what Paul Ingle does for about 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, it's hard.
Hey. Hold up now. Hold up now. Get up, Junior. Easy with the mouth stuff, okay? Ease up, okay? Come on.
Looks like there's an abrasion over the left eye of Junior Jones.
Junior already reaching and pawing with the jab.
He's just trying to make him slow down so he can get that right hand shot in. But Ingle is too busy moving his upper body.
Low blow by Jones. Ingle comes back with a wicked body shot of his own. Round 2 has been a good round for Paul Ingle, as Junior Jones simply couldn't find him in there.
Control it. Don't rush it. Don't get fucking carried away. Don't have a rush of blood to your head. All right. Control it. Control it. You're going to look good. You're going to look fucking good, believe me. You're going to look good.
Impress you with he's being in control where you feel he's in control of you. I want you to back him up this round. Stop this. It's going to be too late after 5 rounds, 6 rounds. We'll have to catch up then. Okay. Now stop the crap. Take a deep breath through your nose.
Keep it clean, Junior. He claims you bit him.
Take it through your nose and let it out your mouth. Now give him some water. Okay.
Bit him.
Now listen to me. Listen, please. That jab, you're drifting with it. I want it to be a hard snapping jab where you can't count him with the right hand off. All right? Yeah. Don't allow.
The right hand lead that Ingle gets in. He's so defensive-minded as he comes that you tend to forget that he might punch on one of those occasions when he's moving around. Very difficult fighter to fight. Prince Ahmed had a lot of problems with him.
Well, the really great bobbers and weavers, the guys who can move their heads all the time, set up both their offense and their defense from that upper body movement.
Did you hear that the referee said in the corner to Junior Jones that Ingle claimed that Junior bit him during one of those clinches?
Well, he could have said he spit on him, too. It's the language barrier.
Yeah, I heard there was a problem with Jones's mouth. I thought he meant that Jones was talking to him.
Well, Junior's coming out here to make a statement, try to back Ingle up, and let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, you heard Teddy Atlas saying, stop with the crap, back him up.
You've got to jab the body. When you see a guy like Ingle moving back and forward, side, left and right, jab at his chest. Go right at the chest. Forget about the hitting the head.
Now Junior almost lands the right hand.
And you'll find that if you aim at the chest, you'll get the head anyway.
Jones beginning to feel as though he might be able to find the range on a right hand.
That jab hit his chest. That's what you do. You jab at the shoulders, the chest, and it takes the effect out of his punches later on, and plus you find his head eventually.
So there's a hard right hand body shot by Junior Jones.
Come on. Come on now. Get your heads up now. Come on.
Hasn't been able exactly to back Ingle up, but has been able to find the range on the right hand, both to the head and the body, a couple times here in the third round.
Junior Jones will find if he just lay his left hand out at the chest, he'll be more accurate. He'll land a lot of jabs to the head. Stop aiming at the head.
Look at the head movement. And look at how Ingle is able to set up the 2 body shots and the left hand to the head by coming off of that bob and weave. Throws Jones to the canvas. These 2 guys don't like each other.
Paulie, that's a warning now behind the head. Don't pull him down, okay? Box.
Junior tends to get off balance when he gets in clinches and goes to the canvas often like that.
He has weak legs. That's the problem.
And his legs have looked a little shaky in the first 3 rounds here.
Very weak. Brian Ingle better beware. This guy can also punch.
Yeah, Junior's got a big right hand.
Weak legs, but strong fist.
When he was 118...
Low by Ingle there.
When Junior was 118 and 122 pounder, he was very, very strong at those weights. At 126, he hasn't proved that he is that strong yet.
Listen, very clearly, give me that towel. Very clearly, very important. All right? Yeah, I'm listening. You can't just jab and fall out because then the guy just walks in. I want your feet set. I don't want you moving where you're on a bicycle. I want you stepping. I want you set on your feet. I want those feet set so you're ready to punch.
All right, got you.
I want your feet set. This guy don't know how to go backwards fighting. Believe me, he really don't. Can you step and stand there and catch him coming in and hold him? Yeah, you can do that too. But you can back him up. You don't know what to do when you back him up.
2 rounds ago, in the second round.
Ouch. Ouch.
Now we're right there. You see Ingle pointing to his chest and saying that Junior Jones bit him in the chest. We got some Yorkshire beef there, Jim.
That's not as easy as biting a man on the ear. Harold, how'd you score through 3?
Okay, Jim, I got a 29-28, 2 rounds to 1, Paul Ingle. I thought that he was effective, he was aggressive, and he won rounds 2 and 3. He's forcing a fight and landed a cleaner shot. So 2-1, Paul Ingle.
Hard left hand inside by Ingle. Junior misses over the top with the right hand. Jabs through 3 rounds via CompuBox numbers. Ingle a very creditable 37 out of 85, 44%. Jones 22 out of 129, only 17% accuracy. Trying to find the head when, as George Foreman points out, he should target the body instead.
In the last 20 seconds or so, Junior Jones has landed a pretty good left and right.
His corner told him not to retreat so much, to stand right on the ball of his feet and just throw shots from there. Keep his defense set, and he's done well if and when he's tried it.
Yeah, Teddy Atlas asking him to step, meaning I don't want you to bounce away. I want you to step aside and fire back when the guy comes at you.
No, I really want him to stand right there on guard. You just work your pivot.
Good shot, good shot, good shot.
And he's backing away again. His corner told him not to do that.
And there's a straight right hand that goes up through Ingle's guard and a left to the body, and now Ingle wobbled just a little bit, and Junior tries to rally. New York crowd rooting for their own as Junior Jones produces some exciting moments in round 4.
Let's see if Ingle continues to charge in recklessly after that barrage.
Junior Jones has been in this position before, where he's taking some punishment, and the guy's coming after him. He's experienced at this. Ingle may be doing something he doesn't know about.
Quick, don't punch, don't punch. Step.
If you're going to follow this guy around, throw some shots all the time.
Left right up under the chin on the top of the chest by Junior Jones. Ingle lands a long right hand. Jones lands a right in return.
Jones has to make Ingle think twice and 3 times before coming in so freely. If he can't do it, Ingle will just overwhelm him.
He's overwhelming him with a lot of movement. He's not throwing a lot of shots. Hits him with one good shot every now and then. That's not enough for a slick fighter like that. You got to hit him a lot.
Don't punch, don't punch. Step out now. Dude, keep it going. I'm sorry, baby. Come on.
Ingle hits him with a good right hand and then stands back and admires work.
What a well-conditioned fighter Paul Ingle is. What a constant energy buzz.
All right, Donnie boy.
Everything you're doing is perfect, all right? Everything you're doing. Okay, I just want you to just start thinking about things. What you're doing is right, totally right. Every now and again, you get in bust, you've got to start coming up, all right? start coming up. He's coming down for it. He's coming down for the shot skin. You knock him out with a million shots and start hitting him with it, all right?
It's very difficult to land clean punches on a guy moving so much as Ingle as you see throughout the fight, bobbing, weaving, ducking. But when he stood his ground there in that fight, that body shot was the best punch of the fight for Jones. It's going to take more than one or two of those to slow up Ingle.
Jones more accurate in round 4. CompuBox numbers showing him 27 of 75 in the 4th round. By far Junior's best offensive round. Ingle was 18 of 43, throwing fewer punches, particularly after getting cracked in the ribs. Harold Letterman's got an even fight going to the 5th.
Don't punch, don't punch. Don't punch, Junior.
What you want to do with a guy who's moving his head so slickly like that, beat him around the body and make him start protecting his body. Get his shoulders, elbows down beside his shoulders, drops his hand a little bit, use your jab. And that's what Junior Jones is starting to do now.
Don't punch, don't punch. Step, step.
Junior Jones seems to be waiting all night to exchange one right hand.
That's a big left hand by Ingle, or at least as big as Ingle can throw it. He doesn't have what we think of as punching power for this class here in America.
So you don't want to get into a punching contest. You want to make certain that you throw right, left. Don't throw one out there, because if he catches you throwing it, he's going to get you and beat you to it. There's that right hand by Junior Jones. He's hoping that Ingle just throw one in exchange. All night those counter punches wait like that.
Push off. That's it. Push off. Push off the leg. That's the way to get out.
Ingle knows he's trying to catch him with that right hand also, so he doesn't exchange the right hand.
Get off his
all
neck,
left
Paul.
hook.
Jones going back to the body. Ingle blocking effectively with his elbows. Jones trying to bang around the guard. Finally jams his right hand right through the middle of Ingle's gloves.
Now Ingle is starting to come forward without moving his head. Got to keep your head moving.
Left hook brought blood from Jones's mouth.
Yep, the little left hook inside landed accurately for Ingle.
There's that right hand again.
And another little left inside by Paul Ingle.
Don't punch, don't punch.
Pretty even fight as we go to the closing seconds of round 5.
Ingle goes bob, weave, and throws one shot. You got a bob, hit, weave, hit.
Junior Jones starting to land some right hands here and there. Paul Ingle doing a lot of effective work with his left hook.
Thank you, sir.
He took off a little bit that round. Very close fight. He's ahead by 1 point.
That's
one
right.
round. You understand? Give me that towel. Now, what I want you to do is not lazy with that jab, Junior. You know the round, not this round, but the round before, you know you hurt him, right?
Yeah, I know.
All right, now listen. The reason you hurt him was you froze him on the outside. You stepped in behind the jab with the right hand. Don't wait for him to come to you.
Okay.
Now, this round, I want a hard jab, not that lazy jab.
Boxing brilliantly. Boxing brilliantly. Okay? Boxing brilliant. No problem at all here. Don't get careless. All I want, don't get careless. Still give him respect. Got the right hand. Keep coming up. Keep stepping to the right. Looking to my knee.
Here's Ingle's left hook that drew blood in what is turning out to be a crisp and close fight.
There's a little cut inside the knot under the left eye of Junior Jones. Round 6 begins, and Harold Letterman, differing from Teddy Atlas, at Atlas scoring it with Ingle up a point. Letterman now has Jones ahead by a point.
I'm sorry, Harold, but I agree with Teddy Atlas.
I'm not so, because Ingle moves left, right, and will not throw but one punch at a time. He's lost the edge, and plus, Junior Jones is not breathing out of his mouth so desperately as he was in the first couple of rounds.
And looking at Junior Jones here, as opposed to the Junior Jones we saw a year ago in Manchester, England against Richard Evett, you have to think that the association with Teddy Atlas has had some beneficial effects. No knock against Tommy Brooks, the man who was training Junior before. Junior acknowledges that Tommy Brooks is a terrific trainer, but Tommy is dealing with Mike Tyson, and that takes a lot of time.
Ingle is throwing one shot at a time. You got to throw many. If he can just land a 1, 2, 3, he can drop this guy, Junior Jones.
Straight right hand, straight left hand for Ingle. Doesn't have a lot of punching power, George.
But it takes 3 shots, 3 good ones.
Ingle able to duck under Jones's left and right again. Through most of the action, Ingle has been the quicker and busier fighter. Not in round 4, when Junior Jones threw more punches than Ingle did.
No. Come on.
Third time Junior's been down on the canvas. All of them ruled slips.
Cannot behind the head. I know, but next time
But
it's
together,
a point, okay?
they add up to a question about
You keep
Junior's
your head up
balance
also.
and
Let's
leg
go.
strength going to the latter part of the fight.
No, the second warning, yeah. If he does that again, he's going to put the referee on the spot where he has to take a point away.
Steve Smoger telling Paul Ingle that he'll deduct for holding behind the head.
Now Ingle is mixing it up, throwing a lot of shots.
And
that's what you
yells at him in the middle of the ring.
That's what you got to do. You can't depend on one punch every 2 rounds.
And still Ingle with the constant upper body movement, the bob weave in and out, straight left hand right on the button.
Watch your head. It's all right.
Junior telling Ingle to watch his head.
No, Paul. I said punch out of there. Very good.
Well, between rounds here, we're going to go to Nick Charles for a live visit with heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis, in Lewis's dressing room. Lewis, in the days before this fight, almost mystically calm. Let's see if that's still the case. Nick?
Okay, Jim. Lennox, you do this every time. Come to the dressing room and fall asleep. What's the theory behind that? Were you tired, or is it a way to just take off an edge?
Just relax, focusing on the fight, and you know, penetrating the fight coming up.
Speaking of the fight, Michael Grant said for weeks he's going to come and get you because you don't like pressure. How do you really believe he's going to open this fight against you?
I think he's going to be tentative. You know, I think about coming after me, he's just blowing smoke screens.
If he's tentative and cautious, is there a chance you're just going to try to catch him cold, wipe him out before he has a chance to get dangerous, or would you rather not play safe but simply outbox him?
Yeah, I believe that I got too much talent for him, and I'm going to go in there and show it.
As you sit here, deep in the belly of Madison Square Garden, separated literally by a concrete wall from Michael Grant, how is your big fight experience at this moment, moments before the fight, giving you an edge?
It's something that I'm used to, and I've been in this position many times, and it's just another moment that you have to go through before a fight, and I'm fully prepared for it.
And this will be your defining moment, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Prediction?
Lennox Lewis will be victorious.
Jim, back to you.
Well, breathless excitement as always in the interview with Lennox Lewis. George, did my eyes deceive me, or is the champion beginning to sprout those first few silver hairs on?
Yeah, there's a need for Miss Clairol there.
But I guess by your standards, that means he's got a chance to get really good now.
There you are.
Certainly he's relaxed.
You know, when you go into the fights, I'd spar with the younger guys, and I'd have a little specks of gray around my chin. I noticed they would attack me, but the days when I shave it off, they would back away. So I don't know, it's a good idea to come into a fight like that.
Well, Grant says he's going to attack, and of course you took care of that by shaving everything clean.
Every day. I have no gray hair.
Into the second half of the battle between Junior Jones and Paul Ingle.
Ingle is very conservative with his right hands. He knows that Junior Jones is trying to catch him counter with one good straight right hand. throws left hooks, but he will not exchange right hand.
Well, I think unless he can wear Junior down, Ingle is planning to trust the judges here.
Has the right hand. If only he can catch Ingle coming forward with it, he'll drop him. Ingle does not come forward with the right hand, only with the left hook. That's one. He stands too far away doing it. Oh, that's a good one. Best punch of the night. A good right hand by Ingle.
Junior Jones having trouble finding Ingle here in the 7th. Ingle blocking Jones's left hand with his glove, and he does so again. Jones missing over the top. Ingle pops him twice on the top of the skull. Ingle able to make contact. Jones having difficulty finding Ingle. And the right eye of Junior Jones.
That's that counter right hand.
Yeah.
He's been waiting all night.
And another one lands too. Left to the body, left upstairs by Ingle, but Junior Jones landing those two blunt force counter right hands.
His corner should caution Ingle, just stay busy. Forget about the good hard right hand. Just stay busy.
Good work with the left hand there by Ingle, to the body and then back to the head before he moved away.
Ingle just casually picks up that left hand enough to protect it.
Junior Jones has never lost a decision.
Johnny boy.
All 4 of his losses were by
Put your
KO.
hands together and back this guy up now these rounds. I want 3 rounds in a row. I want to ask you a question. Rinse his mouth out. Okay, Ted. Listen to me. How long you been boxing? How many years? Including the amateurs. 20 years? 20. Okay, 20 years. Have you been through a lot in 20 years? Huh? You have, right? Probably more than you're going through even here, right? Okay, you got 15 minutes to make that 20 years worthwhile. 15 minutes, is that a lot? Think about the 20 years, all the things you've done, the sacrifice. Close your eyes. The sacrifice, all the things you've done, the hard times when you were away from your family. 15 minutes, is that worth it? Go in there for 15 minutes, back this guy up. Seconds out. All right, give me the mouthpiece.
Okay, Teddy.
Teddy Atlas at his best, trying to whip his steed home.
I wondered when we were going to get the inevitable Teddy Atlas, this is your life speech, and Junior was cruising for it, and he got it. Harold, how do you have it through 7?
Well, you know, Jim, I tell you, I think that Paul Ingle grabbed round 6 and 7. He's got Junior busted up, and he's got a lead, 4 rounds to 3. So we got a 67-66 Ingle.
Oh, but the right hand of Junior Jones is starting to find home now. He never should have tried to mix the right hands up with Junior Jones. Just stay busy with your left jab and your left hook.
Jones landing the big right hands right on cue. Following the remember the 20 years, he got 15 minutes to make them worthwhile speech by Teddy Atlas. In round 7 by CompuBox numbers, Ingle was 29 of 44, doing a paint job on Junior Jones at 66%. Now Jones is coming back with the appropriate fury.
Boy, what a way to motivate a man to fight. Tell him 20 years can go down the drain in 15 minutes.
Well, he's right. Junior's fighting for his career here.
What a motivating speech.
We saw it the night that Teddy Atlas trained Michael Moore to his epic victory over Evander Holyfield to win the heavyweight title. What do you want to do with your life? Was the memorable line. We're in the 8th round of a 12-round championship fight. Thus the 15-minute reference. 5 more 3-minute rounds available to Jones. And Junior's having a big round in round 8. Much more focused than was the case in 6 and 7. Now it's Ingle who misses.
And he misses and retreats. This is something he wouldn't have done in the first 2 rounds. You got to stay on him, Ingle, if you got to win every round.
first minute of this round, Ingle tasted what's left of Junior Jones's power, and it had an effect. You suspect the fight is still there to be won by either man on the scorecards.
I think it's to be lost by Ingle. He's had everything going for himself, and he stops and allows this man to get a second win.
There's a left hand by Ingle that knocks Junior back.
It hurts.
And now Junior's leg's a little wobbly.
He's hurt.
I don't think Ingle knows how badly he hurt Junior with that left hand.
Well, they remember the Alamo and win one for the Gipper speech. Got Junior Jones back into the fight.
Okay. You got 12 minutes now. Is 12 minutes too much? Is 12 minutes too much to be happy for 30, 40, 50 years? Right, let's be strong for 12 minutes. It's very close. Spit that out. It's very close. You need all these rounds. I want to win each round, but I only want to think of one at a time. Okay. Win this next round. Swallow that. Take this water. Okay. One round at a time. Now listen, when you backed him up, didn't you know? Leave it alone. Didn't you see how ordinary he was when you backed him up? He's a different guy when you back him up. Now stop letting him...
Take another drink. Nice and easy, nice and loose. Boxing brilliant. Keep that fending off going. Start stamping on his toes a little bit. Start fucking stamping on his toes. Start take a full rest.
Go win this round.
You know, against both Prince Ahmed and Medina, Ingle got very tired at the end of the fight. As from all this activity, he has earned it, that fatigue. If Junior can stay in there, win another round, then the championship rounds are where he might pull the fight out.
12 minutes to go. Harold Letterman's scorecard is even, buoyed by the first Emmy-nominated speech by Teddy Atlas for the evening. Junior Jones produced a huge round 8, throwing 90 punches, landing 29 of them. Only 38 punches thrown by Ingle in that frame.
I had it 5 rounds to 3 for Ingle.
What a body shot.
Let him out, let him out, let him out. Push off.
Junior has
way to go,
put more mustard into both his body shots and his upstairs offerings since that speech by Teddy.
Ingle does the proper bobbing and weaving and gets close, and he doesn't do anything else.
The trainer who brought Junior up through the amateurs. Oh, and there's a right hand right on the button, and Ingle goes down on his butt. 4.
He waited all night.
6, 7, 8. How we feel, baby?
Huge on the scorecards. Could set up a 2-point round for Junior. Ingle still has his legs, but not all of them. Junior's giving it all he's got. New York crowd on its feet.
Very good. Step out, step out, step out.
This is a man who's fought more than 20 fights in Madison Square Garden, amateur and professional. Oh, what a body shot.
Ingle is moving, but a different direction right now. And here he comes again.
Remember, Junior Jones doesn't have the strongest of legs. You can still get in there and mix it up with him, too. Fight him back. Fight him back.
Commits, you can counter and hurt him.
You can hurt him. His legs aren't that strong, so Ingle should mix it up. Don't run from him.
He was throwing a big shot at Kennedy McKinney the night that McKinney caught him with a right hand and knocked him out. Back to the body. Intelligent body shot Jones. Junior showing desire and professionalism with the rally in the 8th and 9th rounds.
Ingle gets in the good right hands and he back away. Get 2 in.
But he momentarily reversed the momentum of the round with that shot.
He's got to get 3 shots in, and he can have Junior Jones on the canvas as well.
A 2-point round for Jones, which may have lifted him into the lead in the fight.
Hey, you know what? Now listen, 9 minutes now.
Mr. Silly mistake. You're totally in control still, all right? You're totally controlled, but that might have been a 10 round, all right? Don't get panicking, you're still in front, right? You're in front. You got to do it, stay cool.
You got to go out and win every round. Rinse this out, rinse that out, and then I'm going to explain something to you. Now take a swallow. You caught him with the right hand because you just threw it behind the jab. Before that, listen very closely.
Watch Ingle's feet as he gets hit here. He was off the ground. He was moving forward, and both feet were off the canvas when he was hit.
All night he was avoiding the exchanges. Got caught.
The fight is on.
10th round of a scheduled 12.
Ingle's corner's got to tell him to mix it up and fight. Stop this bobbing and weaving and landing one shot.
Junior Jones is alive and well and can be found in Midtown Manhattan.
Now there's power on that left hook, of Junior Jones. He allows Ingle to catch up with him and step back on his right foot just a little. Throws it with all his power. He's allowing him to get set on his right foot.
Jones gets away with a body shot right at the top of the belt.
If only Ingle would try to fight.
Remember, a year ago in Manchester, England, Paul Ingle was knocked out in the 11th round while doing well against Prince Nassim Hamed. Junior Jones scored a dramatic 11th round rescue knockout while doing badly against Richard Evans. And when Ingle won his title in November against Manuel Medina, he had to survive the 12th round with a badly damaged left eye.
There's the left hook. The left hook is in the mix for Junior Jones now. That hadn't happened all night. Ingle has just got to get mean.
Jones with that swelling right eye, able to stay aggressive and maintain his offensive through the last 3 rounds.
There it is again. You cannot exchange right hands with Junior Jones. Go left hand crazy. Go left hand crazy. Junior Jones has no defense for the left hand. Hooks.
Well, I think Ingle may have lost his confidence to fight offensively at this point, George.
You just got to fight. You have a title, you got to fight.
He's been hurt in each of the last 3 rounds.
Good. You got to fight.
And I was amazed when his trainer, Steve Pollard, told him between rounds that he was still ahead in the fight. I'm not sure I would have told him he was still ahead in the fight.
Not at all. Not with a knockdown. Has that exchange of right hands again. Keep fighting now. Keep fighting.
Good left hand inside by Ingle.
Throwing punches.
You're pushing it down.
Junior looks very tired. He's put out a tremendous effort since that speech. He almost looked wobbly there.
Ingle got him. Stay on him with the hooks. You can drop him also.
And Junior takes a moment to listen to Steve Smoker. And now Ingle has a chance to finish. But Junior comes out of the corner.
Left hooks.
We've got excitement in Madison Square Garden with 2 rounds to go.
You don't lay off now. We're keeping going. Just about that.
And you let him walk right in. And you set your feet, goddammit. And you set your feet. And you throw a hard jab and you do something off if you keep him from walking in.
You got to keep pushing on now. Don't start stopping now. It's coming up round 10. 11 coming up. 11 coming up. Keep the work rate going now. Pick it up. Don't let him get a charge of this round anyway. Don't make no mistakes. But keep busy. Keep doubling in now and start throwing more right hands off.
Now listen, all you got is 6 minutes. Now I want a good defense. Straighten yourself up a little bit. I want a good defense. It's fine. Listen, get yourself together. And inside, stop looking to grab, because every time you look to grab, you fall in and he punches. And you leave.
Letterman, how do you have it going to the 2 championship rounds?
Okay, Jim, in rounds, I got it all even at 5-5, but certainly Junior Jones has to be ahead by 1 point based on a knockdown in round 9. 95-94, Poison Junior Jones.
I have it by 1 point for Ingle.
More than 10 rounds. Junior
Jones looks like he's done.
There's a TKO. No, a standing 8 count. Standing 8 count.
5, 6.
Not available in the rules.
Hey, you all right?
Not available in the rules. Harold Letterman, what? Okay, Jim, it's not a standing 8. If the ropes are holding you up, if you're helplessly caught up in the ropes, it's a knockdown. And there's the TKO. He's not stopping it. He's not stopping. He's holding his slip. He waved his hands as though he was.
Yeah, but Junior has nothing left.
Oh, but Junior has a little danger still ahead.
2 knockdowns in the round.
Jim, it only counts as 1 knockdown.
Yeah, because there was no count on the second one.
I don't know what is holding Junior Jones up. He looks semi-conscious.
And now Smoker stops the fight. On the 3rd try, Paul Ingle gets a technical knockout win over Junior Jones. And Jones just exhausted himself with that 3-round rally, 8 through 10.
He had to take the shot. It's like a runner who is way behind in the middle of a race. You've got to catch up, and then you just hope you can gut the rest of the race out. And he just didn't have enough.
Harold Letterman, is that round within the rules the way it was conducted?
Okay, Jim, absolutely. The first knockdown in round 11 was like Bert Cooper knocking Evander Holyfield into the ropes. It wasn't a standing 8 count. The ropes were holding Junior Jones up. Smoker called it a knockdown. On the second one, Smoker just said, get up. He never bothered to count.
Why?
It was Smoker's call. Smoker felt that he fell down, and not from a punch.
It wasn't a knockdown.
All right. So there's the explanation as to how the referee conducted the round, and Junior Jones falls prey to a technical knockout loss to Paul Ingle in a fight in which Jones showed his courage, Ingle showed his tenacity.
I said it all along, you got to fight. You can't do it on trying to win points. Fight.
Classic case of a fight. Now, George, let's look back. Junior's legs were already in trouble when first he got in danger against the ropes here.
Yeah, and it's the left hooks, the left, the left, the left. Don't exchange, just left, 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 then sneak one in, left all night. The referee saved him from a sure knockout.
And this is the same thing again. Steve Smoger making the determination here that the ropes were holding Junior Jones up. And that's why he stepped in and administered the 8 count to Junior Jones. Not the standing 8, which I thought it was. Now here's where Jones went to the canvas and Smoger elected not to count.
It was not a knockdown.
Saying that it was a fall.
It was a fall.
And another look at the fall.
And he'd been warning him all night. He'd warned him all night about pulling him down.
And then here's the end of the fight when Smoger decides that Jones just can't continue anymore.
One shot after another. Jones is defenseless. Gets up against the rope. There you are. Came to the rescue.
And a celebration for the Yorkshireman who defends his version of the featherweight title, looks ahead to a fight with the people's champion, Prince Nassim Hamed. And now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Smoger calls a halt to this bout. The official time, 1 minute, 16 seconds of round number 11. The winner by TKO and still featherweight champion of the world from Scarborough, England, Paul the Hunter Ingle.
Final punched at numbers in a real fight with shifting tides of fortune, ebb and flow. Ingle landing 19 more punches than Jones, although Jones threw 269 more punches than Paul Ingle. Thus the difference in their connect rates.
Well, what a good fight.
jabs. Ingle much more effective and much more accurate throughout the fight with his jab. Jones laboring to find Ingle's constantly moving head. Our punches, the category in which Junior got better and better as the fight went on, but at the end taking too much punishment as Ingle was able to land more than half of his hooks, crosses, body shots, punches other than jabs. And the judges' final scorecards, how did it stand going into those last 2 rounds? Who would have won the fight if it had gone the distance? Well, it was 95-94, 96-93, and 94-95. So the fight was still on the table for the man who could take it in the last 2 rounds, although Ingle had a slight edge at that point. And now Larry Merchant stands by with the winner, Paul Ingle.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Paul. Describe what you just threw.
I totally enjoyed it. You don't enjoy many fights, but that fight I totally enjoyed. I felt in control, relaxed, and totally, you know, enjoyed the full fight. Fair enough. I mean, we knew Junior had a big punch, but I've got the stamina, the speed, and the accuracy, which counted in the end. We knew he's got a big punch, and obviously he's going to win. We won. Still still working on my defence, but I totally enjoyed the fight, and I hope I've had an impression here, and I hope to return.
When you were knocked down and went over with your legs and your backside and everything, how hurt were you? Was the fight slipping away at that point?
No, not at all. I mean, we knew Junior had a big punch. The punch hit flush. No matter what, whether you're a featherweight or anything, if that punch had hit Hamid, it'd have gone down, guarantee you.
He made a very, very big effort in the 9th and 10th rounds. Did you see that sapping his energy?
Yeah, the aim was to draw his punches, make him miss as much as possible. And as the fight got on, it was working. Taking that away from Junior, hit me with some good shots and some good clean shots.
You told us yesterday that you were not interested in a rematch with Prince Ahmed right away. You wanted to defend your title against some other challengers before that. Is that how you still feel now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to defend these titles a couple of times and then go for Hamid. Hamid's out there for me. I mean, if Hamid wants it, then he can have it. It's simple as that. I mean, I'm easy. I'm a fighter. I'm in the business to earn money. And if Hamid wants it, he can get it on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for an outstanding fight. Junior. That was an excellent fight, Junior. You were behind in the middle of the fight. His movement was giving you all kinds of problems. Teddy Atlas gave you that vehement pep talk. You came out firing. What was going on in your mind at that moment?
I mean, I know I had to do a little bit more than what I was doing. I was looking to kind of BS a little bit, like grab and hold, and Teddy told me I had to hit a little bit and back this guy up.
And you did. And when you knocked him down, did that restore your feeling that now I've gotten into it, or were you already getting tired?
I wasn't getting tired. I just didn't do what I had to do. I had nothing to do with getting tired. I was trying to put my mind to the fight and try to, you know, do what I had to do to win the fight. Just couldn't, you know, no skills, couldn't get it going.
You gave a tremendous effort after Teddy Atlas gave you that pep talk following the 7th round. Did that drain you in any way, even though it brought you into the fight?
No, it didn't drain me. I mean, you can't blame the corner. You can blame me. I did the wrong things to him. I mean, he was a little better than I anticipated. I may have took things a little bit for granted, and that's the outcome we got.
Will you continue to fight?
Sorry, I mean, truthfully, I can't think about that now. I mean, right now I gotta, you know, get back and, you know, sit down and be honest with myself before I decide whether I'm gonna fight again or whether I'm not gonna fight again. Even if I don't, man, I had a pretty good career and did a lot of good things. So
you had an excellent career, Junior.